I don't actually see any duties women have in modernity. None. Like no actual duties.
Duties to what?
Anything.
You don't, like, in a moral sense, or?
No, in any sense.
Andrew Wilson destroys this woke they-them feminist in this debate on the benefits of feminism, as Andrew Wilson right out of the gate starts dismantling feminism with logic, asking what duties do women have, and ultimately Andrew Wilson proves during this debate that this feminist is so selfish she doesn't even understand what a duty is. Let's get in.
So feminism has switched women from duty to materialism. Can you
explain what you mean by that first?
Yeah, I can't think of a single, when you talk about egalitarianism being, so let's start with this, I guess. Are rights real?
Real in what sense?
Do they materially exist anywhere, or are they concepts of the mind?
Yeah, rights are concepts of the mind.
Yeah, so they don't actually exist, right?
No, something that's a concept still exists.
Where?
Yeah, like feelings exist, thoughts exist.
Where?
They exist within the mind. You just said that.
Yeah, where's that?
In the mind?
Where is that, though?
In brains?
So the brain exists inside the mind?
The mind is constituted of the brain.
The brain is the mind, then?
That might be a semantic thing, but I'm fine with saying however you want to parse out those terms, that, yes, concepts come from minds. Minds either are or come from brains.
Okay, so, is the mind the brain?
Look, that's a complex question I don't have the answer to.
I don't either. So I just want to make sure that I understand where concepts exist.
I mean, look, if you just want to say the brain just for simplicity, that's fine. I'm not sure. Like, are you like well versed on philosophy of mind or something? Is that like?
I'm not trying to move you into philosophy of mind. I'm just trying to ask you about rights being a concept, because when I say that they're not real, you say they are real because concepts are real. Right. But I don't understand how concepts themselves are real.
Yeah, they're real as in they're, things that are from the mind.
Okay, so
like thoughts. You wouldn't say a thought is not a real thing. A thought is a real thing.
Well, when you say objective or subjective, what do you mean by objective or subjective?
I didn't use those words, but usually in philosophy, objective means mind independent, and subjective means mind dependent.
Okay, right. So concepts then, they're dependent on a mind?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so they don't exist absent a mind?
They don't exist absence of minds? No.
Okay, so if all human beings were gone, rights would not exist because the concepts would be gone, right?
Well, I didn't say human minds. There could be, some alien, the xenomorphs or whatever, come down and they have their own concepts of rights. Then, yeah, I mean, that's still a mind. They have rights, etc.
Yeah, no, sure. If there was aliens, they okay.
Just to clarify, it's not just human minds. It is just, minds that can conceptualize of rights.
Whatever those minds are.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, got it. So when we're talking about rights, though, they don't exist in any sort of material reality.
That question hinges upon the, is the mind the brain or not?
You can't taste them, touch them, smell them, see them, that kind of thing.
Sure. No, of course not.
Yeah. Okay, got it. So rights, for all intents and purposes, are just things that we make up.
Sure. That doesn't make them any less real.
Well, I guess we're going to have to clear this up again then. Real how? Is a unicorn real?
Well, as a fictional concept, yeah.
As a concept, it's real.
As a fiction, just to be clear. There's a way that fiction is used in a technical sense. I'm not super familiar with it, but you can point to things that are fiction and things that aren't fiction. So it would be like, well, maybe Spider-Man is real in a sense, but he's real in a fictional way. He's still real, right? There's still a book. There's still movies about him. There's still actors that play him. In a sense, there is...
Well, he's real in your mind.
Spider-Man, right? Well, there are material things tied to Spider-Man, right? But there is a real concept of Spider-Man. He's just real in a fictional sense.
Got it. So then for you, rights actually do exist as more than... They're not... When you say concept, you actually believe concepts are real in some sense.
I think they're real in a mind-dependent way.
Mind-dependent.
When you say, so I think what you're doing here, and you can correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm making sure we just don't equivocate.
But it seems like what you are doing might be a little bit of that, but it might seem like you're saying something is only real if and only if it's material. Do you believe that or no?
I don't. No.
Okay.
I'm just making sure that we get the view clear.
Sure, yeah. So there can be real things, even if we don't have a specific definition, there can be real things that aren't material.
Yeah, concepts.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, got it. So rights are a concept.
Yeah, they are a concept, but they are real. But in the sense that non-material, real
concepts,
things.
yeah, in the sense that concepts are real.
Right, just like your feelings are real, just like your thoughts, your dreams are real.
Got it. And concepts are changeable, right? Just like rights.
The concepts themselves, yeah, the way that people think of things, yeah. Those things can change, sure.
Okay. So we've established that rights are just concepts. Concepts can be real. I'll just agree in that sense because, again, it doesn't really matter, I guess, in this particular confine. So when I say duty you would have to exist, or you'd have to admit is also real then as a concept.
What do you mean by duty?
Obligations that you have absent entitlements. And I would classify rights as being entitlements you have absent obligations.
So you said a duty is an obligation absent an entitlement?
Yeah.
And then you said that, what was the second?
That for a right, it would be an entitlement absent a duty.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't actually see any duties women have in modernity. None. Like no actual duties.
Duties to what?
Anything.
You don't, like in a moral sense or?
No, in any sense. So I see a lot of entitlements, rights, entitlements absent duties. So you have the right to vote, no duty to vote, right to own a gun, no duty to own a gun, right? You have the right to or not incriminate yourself, but no duty to incriminate yourself or not to incriminate yourself, right? Every one of these rights is an entitlement. There's no duty which comes along with it. So I think that in a time before feminism, let's say, especially the 1900s, that instead of women and men in this case moving towards a materialistic outlook, they focused a lot more on duties instead of entitlements themselves. And I think that has been very bad for society, the focus on materialism from feminism.
Okay, maybe just to get more clear on that term duty, being an obligation absent entitlement. What you're saying is that, somebody should act or needs to act, right, without being given anything to act?
No, they could be given orders to act. That could be considered
that's
a duty.
not what I'm saying.
No.
Okay, maybe there was some miscommunication there, but something that, you should do whether or not you're rewarded for it or something like that. Is that something like what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me know down below if you think this feminist actually understands what a duty is, because personally watching her, I don't think she does. Like, look at the way that she's listening and expressing herself to Andrew Wilson as he's explaining it. Like, this is a foreign concept to her. Like, what? No. You're like, I don't get anything? Well, like, what? I have to do stuff without a reward? What? Like, what's that? It's a completely foreign concept. Like, she's struggling to understand it and having to write it down. And the thing of it is it gives it away. Because if she's trying to understand what a duty is, it means she never knew what a duty was to begin with. Like, this wouldn't be a foreign concept to her if she had some sort of semblance of what duty actually means. And in feminism, like Andrew Wilson pointed out, there's no duties anywhere. Literally anywhere. It's all just me, all about me. But hit that like button and notification bell if you're enjoying the video, and if you want to help support the channel, check out the link in the description, and let's get back in.
So
some obligation to do, some obligation absent entitlement to perform X action.
Okay.
Now that's not a perfect definition, but I think it's a workable one for the purpose of the conversation.
Okay, so you think that, women don't have any duties, but they do have...
But I think men do. I think men have duties.
Can we get clear on if you're making a descriptive claim or if you're making some sort of prescriptive claim?
Descriptive.
Descriptive? Okay, so you think that men have duties and women don't?
Yes.
And that you think that women have rights and men don't have rights, or they do?
I think that women have more rights than men do. So this would come down to my argument for conscription. It's very simple. Men have a duty and obligation to sign up for the draft. Women have no such obligation or duty to do so, but women can still vote to send men to wars and then not fight in them because they can't be drafted. So I would consider that to be an extra right that women have that men do not have, because they are they actually have to sign up and be conscripted during wartime.
Okay, sure.
And absent wartime.
Okay, so this is argument feminism bad because men have to go to the draft and women don't, and they both get the right to vote?
No, this is an argument for materialism. I'm just expressing that when we moved away from a duty-based society for women, I can't think of any actual obligations that women have as far as duties to society, but I can think of actual obligations that men do have still as a duty to society. And so it seems that women themselves actually have more rights in modern society than men do. And also, right, that a lot of this movement towards the idea of more additional rights comes from materialism itself. Everything seems to staunchly revolve around I want, me, I want, because it feels good.
Okay, sure. I'm not sure. Maybe we could get more clear on materialism there. I'm not for the draft. I am for people voting. I think people should vote. So if you're making descriptive claims about like, okay, well, you think that this moved towards materialism, and I'm thinking maybe you're talking about like Marxist materialism, or do you mean something totally, do you mean materialism in a totally different field? Yeah,
in this case, very simple, right? I'm just using materialism in the sense of stuff in the replacement for something that is not stuff. Like, for instance, if we're talking about concepts of God, of country, of nation, of state, things like that, which could be fulfilling, and materialism would be the idea that like stuff can be fulfilling, like actual material goods, things like this can be a form of fulfillment.
Okay, so materialism, from what you're defining, is that material goods can be fulfilling.
Yeah.
Okay, this has to do what with feminism?
That what feminism has done is move women more towards materialism than duties. Duties would be this idea of the conceptualization of I ought to do things outside of because it feels good, whereas materialism is I'm going to get this stuff because it feels good.
Right. I mean, I can think that people should do things because I think it would have good outcomes for them. Like, I think that people should vote because I think that that helps them pursue their political goals more. And I think that people enjoy freedom. I think that's good for people's well-being, is to have personal freedoms.
Doesn't seem to be. It seems to be that limiting people's personal freedoms is pretty good for their well-being.
Well, it seems, okay, well, in some senses you would agree with that. In some senses you wouldn't, I assume.
Yeah, in some.
Andrew Wilson makes a great point that feminism has pushed women to materialism because now it's all about their own house, their own property, their own this, their own stuff, their own things, all of it, their own Starbucks, and they've just replaced family, duty, responsibility, obligations, all that for a lot of their own stuff. Maybe not entirely, but to a very large degree, yeah. I mean, absolutely materialism. I mean, look at the stuff that women, when they have their own money and they have lots of it, what do they spend it on? I mean, so much of it is just crap and garbage that's just being sold to them by some other guy who is making it. So, I mean, and in the end, these women on the left, so many people are the most medicated, highly depressed people in society. Like, you see the most mental illness on the left. You see the most anxiety, the most depression, all these woke crazies on the left. So you got rid of, you know, all your shackles and you liberated yourself and you have all your freedom and more rights than men, like, as Andrew Wilson pointed out, and yet you're the most unhappy. You're the most mentally ill. You just hate everything. You're the most miserable people. So yeah, you can say this was a good thing, but look at yourselves. It's not even benefiting you in your lives because so many of these people have ultimately chosen to live a life that is just unfulfilling. But thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments what you thought about what Andrew Wilson had to say, completely destroying this feminist in this debate on feminism. Thanks again, like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.